FM.
Good morning, I'm Atik Rumi, bring you the news on Gold FM. In your headlines, new appointment expected for vacant Energy Minister post, GMRD Aponso named Secretary. Fuel QR system to resume at midnight. SF Raju extradited to Sri Lanka, owner of vessel linked to 4 billion rupee heroin haul arrested. 5 arrested over Ragama assault video. World oil prices dropped significantly following opening of Hormuz.
The top story on Gold FM.
President Anura Kumara Dissanayake is expected to name a successor for the vacant energy portfolio following the sudden departure of Minister Kumara Jayakodi and Ministry Secretary Professor Udayanga Hemapala. Both officials tendered their resignations to the President yesterday, citing a desire to support the integrity of a newly established presidential commission. This high-level commission, chaired by Supreme Court Judge Gihan Kulatunga, alongside Judges Aditya Patabandige and Sanjeeva Somaratnam, investigates systemic irregularities in coal imports dating back to the inception of coal power generation in Sri Lanka. P.V. Bandudasena assumes the role of Commission Secretary. The Presidential Media Division confirmed that the immediate appointment of GMRD Aponso as the new Energy Ministry Secretary. Meanwhile, the Samagijana Balavega describes these resignations as a calculated attempt to distract the public from billions in losses caused by the procurement of substandard coal. The opposition party maintains that the subject minister, the president as head of the cabinet, and the entire cabinet of ministers bear collective responsibility for the controversial tender process and subsequent financial damage to the nation. Further, the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna national organizer Nama Rajapaksa described the resignation of Energy Minister as a move that comes far too late for the country. Rajapaksa noted that while the resignation is accepted, it follows an entire day of parliamentary debate where National People's Power members voted to dismiss corruption allegations and back the minister. The opposition figure claims the controversial coal procurement process already cost the nation millions of dollars in financial losses. Rajapaksa questions how these funds will be recovered, stating that the local consumer ultimately bears the burden of the alleged scam.
This is the local news on Gold FM.
Minister Vijay Herath dismissed allegations of corruption regarding recent coal imports during a press briefing at the Department of Government Information yesterday. He also stated that the public can submit information regarding alleged coal importation fraud to the Special Presidential Commission appointed to investigate the matter. Speaking alongside Ministers Nalinda Jatisab, Bimal Ratnayaka, and Deputy Minister of Energy Akram Ilyas.
ඉතා පැහැදිලි ඉගෙනන වාර්තාව තුලක් තියෙන්නේ ගෙන්වන ලද ගල්ලඟුරු වල ඒ ගුණාත්මක භාවය යම් අඩුවක් තියෙනවා කියන එක විතරයි ඒ නිසා යම් පාඩුවක් වුණා කියන එක පමණයි ඊළඟට රජයක් විදිහට තීරණයක් ගත්තා මේ පිළිබඳ වහාම අපරාධ පරීක්ෂණ දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවේ අභ්‍යන්තර පරීක්ෂණයක් කරා ඒකට යම් කිසි කෙනෙකුට මේ රටේ සිවිල් පුරවැසියෙකුට පරීක්ෂණය සාර්ථක කරගන්න අවශ්‍ය කරන තොරතුරු දත්ත තමන් ළඟ තියෙනවා නම් අපරාධ පරීක්ෂණ දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවට ලබා දෙන්න පුළුවන් මෙතනින් එහාට ගිහිල්ලා මහ ජනතාවට විවෘත වෙච්ච පරීක්ෂණයක් අවශ්‍යයි කියලා රජය තීරණය කරා ඒ නිසා තමයි විශේෂ ජනාධිපති පරීක්ෂණ කොමිෂන් සභාව පිටවන්න තීරණය කරේ. මාස 6ක් ඇතුළත මේ කටයුත්ත අවසන් කරලා ඒ පිළිබඳ වාර්තාවක් ජනාධිපතිතුමාට බාර දෙන්න. මා ජයකොඩි ඇමතුමා වගකීමෙන් නැවත අවධාරණය කරලා කියනවා මේ ගල්ලංගුරු ආනයනදී කිසිදු ආකාරයක වංචාවකට, නාස්තියකට, දූෂණයකට මැදිහත් වෙලා නැහැ.
ගල්ලංගුරු සමාගමේ සභාපතිවරයා ඉල්ලාසීමක් සිද්ධ වේවිද? මොකද එතන අර හඬපටයක් පිළිබඳ සහ එතනත් ප්‍රශ්නයක් වතුනානේ.
පරීක්ෂණය විමර්ශනය සිදු වෙනකොට ඒ අදාළ නිලධාරීන් සම්බන්ධයෙන් ඔවුන් තීන්දුව ගනී.
බලශක්ති අමාත්‍යවරයා පෞද්ගලිකව තමන්ට ලාභ ලබා ගැනීමේ අරමුණ මුලින් දූෂණයක් හෝ මෙවැනි වරදක් කරලා නැහැ කියලා. එතකොට කොහොම හරි අවසානයේ රජයට පාඩුවක් වෙන විදිහට තමයි යම් කිසි දෙයක් වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. මීට පෙර පැවති රජයන්වලදී පුද්ගලිකව දූෂණයක් කරා කියලා නෙමෙයි ගොඩක් වෙලාවට චෝදනා එල්ලුනේ. හැම වෙලාවෙම රජයට පාඩුවක් සිදු කළේ යයි චෝදනාව මත තමයි මේ සියලු කාරණා මීට පෙරත් සිදු වුනේ. එතකොට මේ කාරණේදීත් අවසානයේදී රජයට පාඩුවක් නේද වෙලා තියෙන්නේ.
අපේ ජයකොඩි ඇමතුමා එහෙම දෙයක් කරලා නැහැ කියන එක අපි නැවත අවධාරණය කරනවා. ඒ සහතිකය අපි ගන්නවා. ඒ පාඩුව පියවා ගන්නත් අපි දැන්ටමත් ක්‍රියාමාර්ග අරන් තියෙනවා.
රජයට පාඩු වුණාට විතර අමතරව පසුගිය කාලේ තව දෙයක් පාඩුව කොහෙටද ගියේ? ඒ පාඩුව තමයි කෙහෙලේලාගේ නඩුවල එළියට එන්නේ. ටොන් ගණන් සල්ලි විදියට. මේක විදුලි බිල ගණනය කරන්නේදී කිසිසේත්ම මේ ගල් අඟුරු වල බලශක්ති ප්‍රමාණය අඩු වීම නිසා එන අඩුවක් තිබෙනවා නම් ඒක කිසිසේත්ම විදුලි බිලට එකතු කරන්නේ නැහැ. පාඩුවක් වෙලා තිබෙනවා. දැන් ඇත්තට මේ පාඩුව වෙන්නේ සමාගම.
විගණන වාර්තාවේ සඳහන් කරලා තියෙනවා සම්පාදන කටයුත්ත සිද්ධ වෙන ප්‍රසිද්ධ දැන්වීම සිද්ධ කරන අවස්ථාවේදී ටෙන්ඩරේ ලබා දුන්නු සමාගම ලියාපදිංචි වෙලා තිබුණේ නැහැ කියලා. මොකක්ද ඔබතුමාගේ උත්තරේ? ඒ සියලු දේවල් යලි යලිත් විමර්ශනය කිරීමට කමිටුවට බලය පවතිනවා.
ඔය ඔඩිට් රිපෝට් එක පවා ඔක ෆොරෙන්සික් ඔඩිට් එකක් නෙමෙයිනේ. වෝහාරික විවරණය කියන අර තාම රිගරස් ඔඩිටිං නෙමෙයි.
තව චෝදනාවක් තියෙනවා. බොරතෙල් 268 වගේ වැඩි මුදල් ගත්තා කියලා.
අපි අභියෝග කරනවා පුළුවන් නම් ලංකාව බොරතෙල්. ඔබතුමා කියන්නේ බොරතෙල් කියන නිසා අපි අභියෝග කරනවා ඔබතුමාගේ මාධ්‍යායතනයේට හෝ කාට හරි ලංකා ආණ්ඩුව බොරතෙල් ගෙනාවා කියලා ඩොලර් 286ට කියන්නේ.
ඩීසල් නැව් අරන් තියෙනවා. මේ අප්‍රේල් 2 කියන දවසේ තමයි ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ. එදා ලෝක වෙළඳපොලේ ඉන්ඩෙක්ස් එකේ මිල ඩොලර් 291යි. අපි ඊටත් වඩා අඩු ගානකට තමයි අරන් තියෙන්නේ.
The Ceylon Petroleum Corporation announced the QR code fuel quota system for petrol vehicles resumes at midnight tonight following a temporary suspension for the New Year festive season. Authorities paused the requirement on the 11th of April to ease holiday travel, though the odd-even license plate system remained in force throughout the period. Diesel vehicles did not receive this exemption and continued under standard quota regulations. The Police Narcotics Bureau arrested the owner of a multi-day fishing trawler in Devi Nuwara yesterday following a major high-seas drug seizure. Naval personnel intercepted the vessel named Denuan Putta in deep waters south of Sri Lanka with 4 suspects on board. Upon arriving at the Dikovita fishing harbour yesterday morning, officials discovered over 161 kilograms of heroin with an estimated value of 4 billion rupees. The suspects, residents of Devinura and Mirissa, aged between 20 and 50, are set to be produced before the Halfsdorp Magistrates Court. Authorities intend to seek a 7-day detention order to facilitate further investigations into the smuggling operation. Meanwhile, police transferred Sanath De Silva, alias SF Raju, to the Colombo Central Crimes Investigation Bureau for extensive questioning following his arrival from New Delhi last night. The suspect, brother of an alleged organized criminal Karandeni Sudha, landed at Bandaranayake International Airport around 10:30 p.m. under heavy security. Authorities link him to the high-profile assassinations of Inspector Balendra and the physician known as Hitahonda Dostara in Rathgama. Investigations suggest he provided aid and abetment for multiple murders across Meethiagoda, Karandenium, Alpite and Balapitiya. SF Raju faced 16 open warrants and 24 travel bans prior to his capture, alongside standing international red notices for his alleged involvement in alleged organized crime. Ragama police arrested 5 individuals, including the primary female suspect, following the physical abuse and forced cutting of a woman's hair inside a local store. The main suspect, a 27-year-old resident of Ragama, acted alongside 4 others aged between 20 and 23 from Rajanganayam, Kadavatam, Ragama and China Bay. Officers initiated the investigation after video footage of the incident circulated on social media, subsequently recording a statement from the victim before admitting her to Ragama Teaching Hospital for medical examinations. The group is set to be produced before the Valisara Magistrates Court today. Authorities report 2 further drowning fatalities yesterday, bringing the total number of such deaths to 26 since the 12th of the month. In Mihintale, a 55-year-old resident died in the Marandukalama tank while attempting to rescue 2 children. The man's 11-year-old son and another 12-year-old child began struggling in the water, prompting him to jump in to save them. While the 2 children escaped unharmed, the father lost his life. Elsewhere, a 17-year-old youth drowned in the Sitavaka River in the Higuralakamda area of Dehiovita. The victim visited the area with relatives and encountered distress while bathing in the river. police urge increased caution near water bodies following this sharp increase in water-related tragedies over the past week.
Now for some news in brief.
The Department of Meteorology forecasted showers or thunder showers at several locations in the western, Sabaragama and southern provinces, as well as in the Nuwara district after 1 p.m.
The business news on Gold FM.
And now it's time for a stock market update brought to you by Roshan Fernando of Capital Trust Securities.
The Colombo Stock Exchange had its extended third consecutive day of increase, with the all-share price index increasing 327 points to close at 22,588. The S&P SL20 index also increased 55 points to close at 6,230. Turnover was 4.96 billion rupees. The trading was actively participation we saw in Jonkis Holdings, Ceylon Land and Equity, Softlogic Capital. Sector-wise, capital goods, diversified financial and insurance led the market turnover. Total 171 stocks gained, while 47 stocks declined. Castles Cumberbatch, Haley's PLC, John Keys Holdings were the key contributors towards the all-share price index.
Global energy markets saw a massive sell-off today, with Brent crude plunging over 9% to $90.38. WTI followed the downward trend, dropping more than 11% to $83.85 a barrel. The crash comes as Iran declared the Strait of Hormuz completely open to commercial shipping for the remainder of the current ceasefire.
International news on Gold FM.
Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi announced the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz to commercial vessels, although shipping data still shows minimal traffic through the critical oil corridor. The announcement comes as a ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon takes effect, following months of tension sparked by US and Israeli strikes on Iran in late February. Tehran had previously blocked the channel, which normally carries around 20% of the world's oil and liquefied natural gas. Despite the reopening claim, the IRGC warned that the passage will remain effectively closed if the US naval blockade continues and military vessels are still strictly prohibited. US President Donald Trump welcomed the development as positive for the global economy, but emphasized that the naval blockade of Iranian ports will remain in place until a final peace agreement is reached. Differences persist between Washington and Tehran over Iran's enriched uranium stockpile. President Trump has suggested a joint effort to transfer the material to the United States, a claim firmly denied by the Iranian Foreign Ministry. In a post on Truth Social, Trump also stated that Iran has agreed never to close the Strait of Hormuz again, saying it will no longer be used as a weapon against the world. Meanwhile, the US and Iran are negotiating a 3-page plan to end the war. One proposal under discussion, according to 2 US officials and 2 additional sources cited by Axios, involves the US releasing $20 billion in frozen Iranian funds in exchange for Iran giving up its enriched uranium stockpile. In a separate move, the Trump administration issued a waiver allowing India and other countries to purchase sanctioned Russian oil and petroleum products at sea for about a month in an effort to stabilize global energy prices, which have surged during the US-Israeli conflict with Iran, Reuters reported. The US Treasury Department said the waiver permits purchases of oil already loaded onto vessels as of Friday through the 16th of May. According to a document published on the department's website, this extends an earlier 30-day waiver that had been set to expire on the 11th of April. At the same time, UK Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer confirmed a joint mission with France to protect commercial shipping once hostilities end.
Entertainment news on Gold FM.
Hundreds of spectators gathered in the town of Dolgellau this week to catch a glimpse of Oscar winner Sir Anthony Hopkins during production of his latest film. The 88-year-old actor features in A Visit to Grandpa's, a cinematic adaptation of a Dylan Thomas short story following a young boy's adventures on a Welsh farm. Deputy Mayor Nia Wynne Evans noted the 3-day shoot transformed the local area into a Hollywood scene, bringing a profound sense of pride to the community.
Sports News on Gold FM.
Shubman Gill scored a commanding 86 to lead Gujarat Titans to a 5-wicket victory over Kolkata Knight Riders, leaving the Kolkata side winless after 6 games in IPL 2026. Chasing a target of 181 in Ahmedabad, Gill dominated the power play with a flurry of boundaries before anchoring the pursuit as Gujarat reached the mark with 2 balls to spare. Despite late wickets and a slowing run rate, Gujarat maintained control after high-quality opening spells from Kagiso Rabada and Mohammad Siraj restricted the Knight Riders' scoring. Earlier, Cameron Green struck a 55 ball 79 for Kolkata, but a lack of fluency in his early innings and a dramatic late-order collapse prevented a more competitive total. The Knight Riders slumped from 147 for 4 to 180 all out, as Rabada claimed 3 wickets for 29 runs and Siraj finished with 2 for 23. That's it for the news. I'm Atik Rumi. Have a great day.